sat heavily on the low rock wall and dropped his head in his hands. When I walked towards the steps, my long-dead best friend Colleen appeared on the swing that hung from a trellis beneath the bridge. I stopped short. I almost didn't recognize her. She looked fantastic for a ghost. Her skin was clear and luminous, her long red hair a cascade of molten curls. She looked like a perfect version of herself, as if she'd spent a month at a high-dollar spa. But I'd known Colleen Stevens my entire life. It was her funeral 14 years earlier notwithstanding. Tears pooled in her eyes. "Liz, come home." Nate walked up behind me. "Let's grab a drink." "I think I need one." I wasn't ready just then to own the truth that Colleen's presence signified. "Come home," Colleen repeated. Then she vanished. I shuddered and blinked. Nate and I climbed the steps to Main Street. A guitar player set up by the fountain was covering Amos Lee's Arms of a Woman. Foot traffic was steady, and he'd drawn a small crowd. Nate and I waded through. We crossed the street and headed down to our favorite bar. The executive chef might object to my calling it a bar. The Mediterranean food was excellent, but for us, it served as a neighborhood bar. We settled into chairs at a table on the patio overlooking the reedy river. Neither of us minded the chill, and my brain needed fresh air. I ordered Pinot Noir, Nate a Sam Adams. I stared into space, wondering why in hell Colleen showed up in the park. I never questioned what I'd seen. I was born and raised on Stella Maris, a sea island near Charleston, South Carolina. If you grow up in the South Carolina Lowcountry, you're generally tolerant of ghosts, haints, spirits, and the like. Charleston County has more supernatural entities per capita than any place else in the country. Still, a ghost I'd played Barbie dolls with shook me in a way that specters rattling around antebellum homes didn't. I pondered what she might want from me. Ghosts haunt folks for a reason, right? "Something about that guy bother you?" Nate asked. "Peter? No. Case closed. Why?" The waitress laid down cocktail napkins and set our drinks on the table. When she stepped away, Nate said, "Something's bothering you." Nate knew me well. For 6 years, we'd sold information by way of discreet investigation out of our office, Talbot and Andrews, based in Greenville, South Carolina. Greenville is near the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, on the opposite corner of the state from Stella Maris. We interned with the same Greenville private investigator before opening our own agency. Nate wasn't just my partner. He was my friend. I didn't want to lie to him, but I wasn't ready to tell him I was seeing ghosts. I shrugged. Nate took a sip of his beer. "I thought since the guy was trying to screw his wife over, he'd dredged up unpleasant memories." I threw Nate my most dramatic, "Oh, please look." He drew back, looked away. "Sorry." I've never held it against Nate that his brother was my ex-husband, Scott the scoundrel. Scott owns a private equity firm that devours other companies for breakfast, has team-building meetings over lunch, screws one of their wives over cocktails, then fires half the team before dinner. He is the progeny of Satan, but disguises it behind a perfect smile and a good old boy manner. Nate is the same flavor of blonde-haired, blue-eyed handsome, but Nate's a good guy. We handled criminal defense cases, insurance fraud, and an endless variety of romantic indiscretions. We'd also been hired to do such sophisticated tasks as locate a trailer missing from a trailer park, determine who left an old goat grazing in a judge's front yard, and track suspected UFOs. We had bills to pay. "It's nothing," I said. Nate nodded and drank his beer. He knew I'd talk when I was ready. One of the things I loved best about Nate was that we could talk over a drink, or not. I sipped my wine. Come